just as firmly as you accept this one. You're not just gonna be somewhere else. You're gonna be someone else.
Yo, what is up, everyone? Happy Wednesday! Welcome to the stream. Hope everyone's doing very, very well. Without any further ado, let's get my fat head on the screen and see how we are looking today. Not bad. Hope everyone's doing fantastically well on this beautiful Wednesday. It's actually raining. It was raining where I am, so I can't even say that it's a beautiful day. But every day is a beautiful day. Every day that you wake up with your health is a beautiful day. Isn't that a nice message? Isn't that a nice tone to start the stream with? How wholesome. How wholesome. Among all this, is this the right angle? Yeah, there we go. That's a little bit better. How wholesome of me to start the stream with such a positive note. What's up, Sis? Good to see you, brah. Hype train incoming. Let's go. Yeah, we got a sub. Oh, we got Seth with the resub. 4 months in a row. My man, let's go. We got Haj with the resub. 7 months in a row. My boys, let's go. Appreciate it, lads. We also have Net Voyager with the follow. And Kush for breakfast with the follow. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good to see you, sis. Hope you're well. What's up, Beerlack? GM. How we doing? Yeah, we're live on X and YouTube and Twitch. All three. Everything's working. You love my work. Thank you, Haj. I love to hear that. That's the kind of feedback we live for, you know? What's up, Marquise? Good to see ya. What's up, DK? What's up, Film Ninja? My man. Beerlack on a 10 stream streak. Let's go. What's up, my big? I always think it's Mr. Big. And Big Poker. Yo, what's up, Veslin? Trading is basically dead this week. Yeah, although I did see Jonesy just hit... I woke up to Jonesy TPing a 12-or trade. Did I see that correctly? Yeah, the Jonesy special. Good. I'm glad for him, because I know he's been on a slight cold streak recently. And he'd be the first to admit that as well. So good to see him nailing a Jonesy special is what we call it. He sniped the top of that move. There is no bad weather, only bad clothing. Oh, all right, Socrates. Didn't realize we had Aristotle in the chat. Fucking Jean-Jacques Rousseau over here. Actually, that reminds me of a famous quote by, I believe he was a Dutch alchemist. I guess in modern times he'd be called a chemist, but back then he was called an alchemist. A guy called Paracelsus, if anyone knows him. Who can tell me what Paracelsus said? Very similar to what Beerlack just said. There's no bad weather, only bad clothing. Paracelsus had a very similar quote. What's up, Ty Blue? Good to see ya, brah. What's up, Reynolds, my man? How we doing, boys? We quickly pivot. Phil Ninja with the 20 stream streak. Let's go. You could be an alchemist. I love alchemy and chemistry as well. I think, yeah, I could be wrong. I don't think alchemy is I don't think it's a career you can go into now. I think it's been replaced by actual science. Says Film Ninja, Nomad Trader, my man, dumping before New York Open. Yeah, we will get the prediction going pretty soon. How we doing? What's up, Jack? Where to get a chrome hat? That's a good question. Our merch coordinator is in the chat. Ask her how the merch search is going. The merch hunt to get the 2026 merch drop. The baseball caps are fire. They're really good. My brother visited over the weekend on Saturday. And he was wearing his, you know, I gave him one about a year ago. And he was like, man, I'm not glazing, but it's the best baseball cap. It's the best baseball cap I've ever worn. See, the thing is, you know, he has a big head as well. I have a huge head. So finding a baseball cap that actually fits is fucking tough. It's actually tough. Matt, reposting the stream. Let's go. Confetti for you, sir. Thank you. What's up, Ryoku? How you doing, sir? Good morning, X-Chat. Exactly. Good morning, Bears. What's up, Wes? My man. DK with the 3 stream streak. Let's go, brother. 9 Manny, how you doing? You've been asking for 3 years. Yeah, look, the person you should ask is in this chat right now. Wes. Rest assured, you're on the top of the list. We actually just sent merch out. Would you believe? Thing is, it takes quite a long time. We just sent. Jesus Christ. what are the polymarket odds for that? I just sent. I don't know what we sent. 2 hoodies, 2 t-shirts, 2 baseball caps. Literally, we sent them 2 days ago. What's up, Bullet Felix? Okay, no one got my Paraclesius quote. Paraclesius said, there is no such thing as poison, only dose. So that was a little. I thought someone would jump in the chat and find that quite interesting because Beerlax said there's no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothing. Anyway, doesn't matter, guys. Slightly different level. What's up, Stacks? My name is not Charlie, but thank you though. What's up, Drew Boy? How you doing? Yeah, we're going to get a prediction going. If you are watching on X or YouTube and you want to participate in the prediction, you may, of course, do it. You may, of course, do it in the Twitch chat. Bullish or bearish New York Open, first 30-minute candle, submission period. There we go. You're supposed to answer Charlie what? Okay, Charlie what? Bro, I will pay for express shipping myself. Shipping is also a pain because of how much it is. Getting things. What is this? Oh yeah, that shouldn't be there. Have I? There we go. Charlie Kirk. I don't know. I'm too old for that. Whatever that meme is. I'm not that educated, sadly, to know these references. Need to read more books. Yes. I actually read about Paraclesius in a book by... a short story by Jorge Luis Borges. The Rose of Paraclesius. Jesus, I don't even remember what the short story is about, but I remember reading about Paraclesius. No such thing as poison, only dose. The idea is that you can actually, even poisonous substances, you can ingest in very small amounts. And, even water. Something as harmless as water is actually poisonous in a large enough amount. So no such thing as poison, only doses. Just for your nugget of information before we kick off the stream. We'll get into the charts in a second. Yeah, that's something we were actually chatting about recently. It's like, what do kids do now? Like, what do kids do now when they're going to bed or when they're... I'm talking about young kids. I'm talking about under the age of 10. Because I know when I was a kid, I would read like a motherfucker. I would read every night before bed. I would read every morning before school. I would read like anytime I was a pretty nerdy child. But I'm thinking now, like, what do kids do now? What do kids do now, before they go to bed at night, after they're finished their homework? Like, are they on devices? Are they on phones? Are they playing games on iPads, etc., etc.? Because that's probably a nightmare to navigate as a parent, right? Boys read, your daughter plays with her nail polish. That's good, that's better. They're all on YouTube. Are we still doing Monday streams going forward? Not at the moment, because I'm actually doing a lot of work on I try to lock in a little bit on Mondays and use that as my 12 hours of work day. We just released we're getting to the point where we're going to be releasing the next 3 modules of the trading syllabus. So Monday is my lock-in day. Kids are screen time limited. Yeah, I bet. They play Fortnite, yeah. Your 6-year-old daughter loves to read. That's good. Film Ninja, I also thought in my head, I did not realize you had children that are 6. Congratulations. In my head, you were, I don't know. I don't know, maybe, a younger guy. Maybe you are young. Maybe you are younger than me. Those MFs invented. They could see movies on WhatsApp also. 6-year-old and a 4-year-old. Wow. I did not realize you were a father of 2. Man is winning at life. They doom scroll on TikTok. That's the worry, right? All right, boys. On that note, we are going to get into the charts, see what we are looking at today. If you're in Twitch, we have the prediction running. Prediction will run until New York opens, at which point it will close. If you want to win fake Follis Florins, real Follis Florins, I should say. They're real Florins. Then you may gamble your Florins. You also may gamble. Are the ducats live at the moment? Gamble 100. Yeah, they are. Yeah, we got to check every once in a while. Got to check. 1 hour a day on school days, 1.5 hour a day on weekends. That's really good. That seems quite low to me, which is good, which is great. Yeah, I think Jonesy caught. Was it a short up here or something like that? I wasn't actually awake. Something like that was his trade. That's pretty crazy. Very nice trade. Yeah, he sniped the top, pretty much. We will be looking at... Yeah, I want to look at this chart today. This isn't really a... This isn't a chart that I want to alarm anyone with. It's more like, you know, this is a potential area of resistance. What we kind of need to see to flip. You know? This kind of thing. I think this is probably the level. This is probably the level to reject from. If this move is gonna reverse, we're probably at the level. Otherwise, it's 86k. 86k with haste. We can come back to that chart. Also want to touch on, not that chart. Oh! Dreadfully sorry. Yeah, I guess this is a clean one. This is the it's the daily EMA 200. I don't actually trade with this, but I know that it is a level a lot of guys look at. Okay. Bigger daily EMA 200. Yeah, just interesting to note. We're kind of failing to break above it here. I also wanted to look at, yeah, I think it's anchored VWAP, right? Veslin, did I see a chart from you recently with anchored VWAP? I thought it was really cool. Yeah, look at that. Did you have this on one of your charts, on maybe Pengu? I don't use anchored VWAP as much as I should. I should look at it more. It's super interesting. Because it's like, what can you say? What can you say about this? You can say some very obvious things like we're in a downtrend. You can say, you know, the VWAP band is acting as dynamic resistance. You can say that, I mean, we actually spent quite a long time trading below the lower standard deviation band. Yeah, interesting. I guess I'm more concerned with this line. You watch the anchored VWAP, yeah. You love an anchored VWAP, yeah. Yeah, it's something I don't look at as much as maybe I should. I think it makes a lot of sense to look at it when price is kind of trending like this. It would be interesting if we got, you know, something like this. And it's interesting that it basically lines up pretty close with the value area low from the previous value area. Like if we were to pull this, here. Yeah. Pretty fucking close. You know, this is kind of your line. Just adds confidence to the idea that that's quite an important level. That 86K, 87K pivot. With some confluence, it gives tight reactions. Interesting. What's up, Mucky? Time to get it above the motherfucker, yeah. Anchor VWAP actually works best for continuation trades on first touch after a market structure change. What do you mean by that? Do you mean here? You mean that? Yeah, interesting. Okay. That's good to know. Let's keep that on for the moment. Very first Anchor VWAP retest is the one. And is there something like, I don't know, similar to naked points of control where like the first touch is the best? VWAP trader now. Well, I've been a VWAP trader for years. Just not an anchored VWAP trader. I trade daily VWAP. Daily VWAP is probably the main indicator I use for intraday trading. It's the only indicator that I have on my low time frame chart, actually. NPOC, yeah. It's the only indicator, it's probably the indicator that I use the most. And I don't really use indicators that much. Will there be a module about VWAPs? There won't be a full module. VWAPs will be covered in the indicator module, which is module 7, I believe. I haven't even looked at that yet. I don't believe VWAPs would merit a full module. Market structure change is key with anchor VWAPs. Interesting. I also think there's an argument for putting VWAP in like auction market theory or even like order flow. I don't really know enough about order flow to say why or why not as to whether VWAPs should be included in that side of the syllabus. But we'll see. I'll probably have a better understanding of where it should go once I get into it. Not related. Well, the person that I learned auction market theory from initially, like I'm talking my first month of trading ever, like learning what the absolute fucking basics were, like learning what candlesticks were, and I jumped in on the deep end. I started reading Adam, like Abe Trades content, tradingriot.com. And it's also there. You can check it out. And I was like, what the fuck? You know, it was so, because it's quite high level stuff, you know. I think anyone watching this stream will probably understand what it is and what it means and what it's talking about. But for me, as someone who barely even knew what a fucking candlestick was, to jump into like fairly high level auction market theory, volume profile, market profile, value areas, points of control, etc., like that stuff was quite high level to me, and I just found it quite confusing. But I circled back on it like maybe a year and a half later, and it blew my mind. I was like, oh wow, okay, this is kind of making sense now. But interestingly, Veslin, he includes VWAP in those order flow concepts, I guess, because it's volume related. I know you can make that argument about a lot of different analytical frameworks, but is there a shorting module? There isn't. Trading Riot do be the GOAT. Yeah. Shout out Adam. The syllabus from our Irish professor. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. I feel very professorly these days with all the fucking... I had a very interesting moment last night where I'm writing the module on liquidity. And obviously liquidity is, or at least one way of defining liquidity in in very basic price action terms is, resting orders in the market, right? That's how a lot of price action traders define liquidity. And you kind of get into it and you're thinking like, well, actually, like let's say you have a liquidity level here. Actually, when price breaks down, or when price like sweeps this low, a lot of the liquidity is actually guys jumping in market orders here and playing for a breakdown that doesn't happen, right? So that when price reverses and moves back up, they're forced to close their positions, which kind of adds fuel to the fire for the actual anticipated reversal. And that's super interesting to me because actually that's not liquidity. Those are market orders. They're market entries and they're market closes, right? Those guys are entering via market orders and they are exiting via market orders. And market orders, as you guys all know, do not create liquidity in an order book. Market orders consume liquidity in an order book, right? Limit orders are the liquidity. Market orders are the consumers of liquidity, right? You have the providers of liquidity and the consumers of liquidity, right? Market makers and market takers. So I was like, okay, that's really interesting. I never actually thought about it like that. So I had to kind of figure things out and figure out how I was gonna put all those thoughts down and kind of teach people what liquidity is, but also it doesn't just mean this, it can also mean this, and it can also mean clusters of orders and order activity and market activity. And it's not just as simple as evil market makers coming for your stops. Oh boys, I got stop hunted, I got liquidity swept. There's so much more that goes into the actual mechanics of why price reacts after sweeping a low or sweeping a high. And it's fascinating. There's so much order flow stuff. There's so much delta stuff. Just market activity stuff, two-way auction stuff, it's super interesting. And the more I get into this syllabus, the more I realize that ICT is great as a very, very surface level examination of certain price action concepts. But actually, once you dig down and start getting into the nitty-gritty, you realize that it's not really a useful framework for explaining the actual whys of market mechanics and why price moves the way it does. And for that, you need to jump into other areas, particularly auction market theory, which often has very pretty fucking brilliant explanations for why price does what it does. Just fucking interesting, really interesting shit. I'm genuinely, I find it very fucking, very stimulating, very interesting. It's a lot of fun to do, actually. I don't mean that. I'm not just saying that. What's up, Wadsworth? Good to see you, bro. Should be your Bumble handle. Yeah, exactly. What was the, brother with a contract address. Is there any discount for Twitch dwellers? We just did a discount. We just did our biggest ever discount a month ago. Start of April. For our birthday. DM me. How about that? DM me directly and I'll see what I can do. I'll check with the boss. Ça va, yippee. Interesting, yeah, it is interesting. It's interesting stuff. Have you read any books on AMT? Yeah, the one I recommend is Markets in Profile by Jim Dalton. Markets in Profile, James Dalton. That's the one. You can find that online. And it's not a long read. You can actually read it in like a weekend. Ça va, mec, ça va, Drew boy. Hello guys, bonjour, Funny Warrior. What's my opinion on the Clarity Act? I think it's probably priced in. I don't think it's going to be as big a catalyst as people think. Is that? Bruh. Do I still have internet? Am I still live? You can hear me. My internet is like bugging out. You got me, okay. My internet is bugging out. Okay, it's back now. We actually have construction going on just outside the house. So I'm just waiting for them to cut some cable or fuck something up and for all the electricity to go off. You got me, thanks. Thanks, boys. Yeah, it's... Yeah, you think the same, Ryoku? There you go. Don't go to the bathroom? What does that mean? Your net too? Yeah, I just want to look at this chart. Again, I'm not interested in trying to time the top of the market. That's not what I'm trying to do here. This isn't a FUD chart or something to say, you know, the top is definitely in. Rather, it's a chart to kind of show you that this is a very, I guess a way of putting it, it's just a strong resistance level, right? For a few different reasons. And that's not a bearish thing, right? I'm not saying that this is where you should be bearish. Rather, this should be looked at as an opportunity, right? If price gets above this level, if price can flip this level, then fantastic. Things look really good for a move towards that pivot I mentioned earlier in the stream, which is like 86, 87K. And, you know, by contrast, flip side of this is that if we reject here, then I think you can look probably for a rotation back towards mid-channel and potentially even value area high. So mid-channel would be about 77K, value area high between kind of 73, 74K, something like that. So let me talk you through this level and why I think that this is strong resistance, right? So I've already spoken about, you know, these trending moves and how you get, you know, strong impulses in one direction, followed by corrections with comparatively less momentum, and then another strong impulse. And a lot of the time, this correction will move up to either fill some of the inefficiency by the strong impulse left, that the strong impulse left behind, or it'll move up to retest, you know, previous range low, or mitigate some kind of supply block, something like that, right? It just kind of depends. I think that we might end up seeing something like that here. So with that in mind, what are the major inefficiencies that price left when it impulsed down between 14th of January and 6th of February? Well, the first one that has my attention is this big weekly inefficiency, right? It's kind of marked here between about 86K and about 79.3K, right? And you can see that price is already trading well inside this, okay? So already you're kind of thinking, okay, we're already beginning to fill some key inefficiencies. We're already starting to rebalance the market. We're already starting to satisfy that criteria that I just mentioned, right? We also have a daily inefficiency here. This is probably not something that I'm as concerned about. Not sure exactly why I have that so bright, but I think the weekly inefficiency is slightly more important here. We also have this daily EMA 200. Now, this isn't something that I personally trade, but I know a lot of traders who swear by the daily EMA 200, daily EMA 100, etc. So just to be conscious that it is an overhead level of resistance, a dynamic resistance level, and a level that certainly some traders in my circle are looking at. I mentioned a minute ago how sometimes the price objective during these complex pullbacks, during these corrective phases, is to tag a previous support level that had flipped to, is to tag a previous resistance level that had flipped to support in the case of a downtrend, right? So you look here at this low that we put in on 21 November here, about 80.5k, and this was at the time in the market, it was a support pivot, right? Price bounced here, and this level didn't get taken for a couple of months, not until the end of January, right? We see now that price has arguably flipped this support level into resistance, right? It's kind of the way these support resistance levels work, right? You get a move like this, and you get a move like this, and a lot of the time you'll find that it retests this before continuing lower, right? So just to be cognizant that we have started moving back enough of this move. We have retraced enough of this move that we're actually starting to hit some key support levels from the previous range low, right? And that means something. That's something for sure that I think you should be paying attention to. Speaking of retracing the move down, retracing the impulse, and this is something that I spent a lot of time talking about last week, so I'm not going to labor the point, but you will notice that we are currently trading inside the premium for the move down, right? You can split the impulse down. The upper half is the premium, the lower half is the discount. And as mentioned already, I am more concerned with those levels than I am strictly concerned about OTE levels or golden pocket levels. I just think that it's a far better heuristic rather than getting lost in the 079 fib, 062 fib, whatever it is. Far better just to say, okay, are we in the premium or are we in the discount of the dealing range? And if so, should I be prioritizing shorts or longs? That's effectively it. And you'll see now that we have just started to creep inside the premium, at which point you're saying that maybe shorts are, I won't say favored, but starting to become more feasible than they were when price was trading at 74k or 72k, etc. And then the last thing I want to point to is just this channel, right? And you guys know that I never used to trade channels. I thought channels were very kind of a little bit on the retail side, a little bit on the and I hate using that word, by the way, a little bit on the basic pattern side of trading for me. But over the last 18 months, I've become an absolute channel maxi. I think that in a lot of cases, they give very clean price action, much the same as range-bound price action. They give very set, defined rules, very clear invalidations, and a very obvious level of support and resistance that you can play off, as well as a mid-range level, a mid-channel level, I should say. And here we're seeing, we're seeing a channel that has given some resistance in the past. We're seeing a channel low that has offered some support in the past, and we're currently trading bang on channel high after testing it for 4 or arguably the 5th time. So it's just maybe a level that you're thinking, okay, this is probably a resistance level. This is probably a level that if the bulls want to continue this move higher, they're going to need to flip from resistance into support. And so far, we're not seeing that. We're seeing actually some weakness around this level. We're seeing, I would say that arguably this almost looks like distributive PA. Sorry, this looks like distributive PA rather than a cumulative PA, but it kind of depends on how the rest of the month goes. I think for sure, if you start seeing this kind of thing, then that doesn't look fantastic to me. And at that point, I would actually be looking for something like that, maybe even a rotation back down to channel low. I've said that this value area high is also something that people should be aware of. If I look at this chart, you guys know that price is currently imbalanced, right? Price likes to move between areas of balance and areas of imbalance. At the moment, price is imbalanced, and you're kind of saying that, okay, price is imbalanced. Where is the next area of balance? Well, as unhelpful as it is to say this, it's either up or down, right? It's either this previous value area or this previous value area. At the moment, it's kind of in no man's land, right? We could see a sharp move in one of two directions to return to previous value, at which point you're going to expect maybe some choppy PA once more. But for now, yeah, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. I think that the bulls have a very obvious line in the sand here, right? Flip this level, get above kind of like 82, 83k, and I think we teleport to 86k pretty quickly. You know, something like this, and I think, yeah, the path to that previous value area is very, very clear. But otherwise, for me, it's caution advised. And you know me, it's fun for me to post, you know, bearish rage bait on Twitter, but that's not how I trade. I am a reactive trader. If X, then Y, right? I am also a range-bound, channel-bound maxi, and one of the core tenets of trading ranges, trading channels, is that you do not get bullish at channel high resistance or at range high resistance, which is currently where we are trading. So with that in mind, yeah, I think we have a very nice heuristic here. Flip this level and it sends pretty quickly to probably 87k. The other side of that is that if we reject here and start kind of showing some distributive PA, then I think the return to mid-channel at the very least, and potentially even this previous value area high, is clear. Does that make sense? It is impossible for you to DM me on Twitch. Twitch is super buggy. Well, DM me on Discord then. Be resourceful. We can clip that for sure. Interesting to see the kinds of altcoins popping off. Inge, Ondo, Ton going absolutely bananas. Is Ondo really going bananas? So that'll be oh wow, LIT, man. I had such high hopes for this. It looked really good. I don't know, it's hard for me to get bullish on this coin. It's just been so weird. By the way, if anyone's if anyone ever asks what is my favorite trading setup to take, this is it. The ascending channel worked really well indeed. It was beautiful to watch your read on it. Yeah, thank you. If you aren't a range max, you become one. Exactly. The whole channel stuff didn't work so well in this consolidation. What do you mean? You think? I think the opposite. I think it's been really clean. I think it's been extremely clean. Now, I haven't done a huge amount of trading lately, but earlier on in the channel, I remember being vocally bearish here and being vocally bullish here. To name just two examples. STRC starting to cushion price. It seems I think Sailor will soften bearish PA and give the impression we'll go higher. Then tomorrow, after buying stops, we're going down. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, interesting to see how we do without that hype. Interesting, yeah. What's up, Mucky? With the 3-stream streak. Let's go. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you, thank you. Bro is shilling a man grooming kit. The guy who got banned? What's up, AAZ? Good to see you, bro. Yeah, been a while. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Follows, do you know why we use the daily 200 EMA? Like, why not the 300 and 150? I have no clue. I have no clue. I guess there's an element of like, because everyone else uses it, that I should use it. But I don't know. I'm not an EMA. I'm not an EMA trader. I'm actually happy to say that I know comparatively little about EMAs. What's up, Chroma? Always good to see Chroma in the chat. Ooh. Jumping on New York Open is what? Well, I don't know about this, though. I don't know about this. I think high time frame, my bias is too... It's too much to the downside. Oh, our Ton idea worked. I mean, it was slow, but it worked. That's interesting. Remember I said the top on Ton was close? That was like a week ago. Eh, played out. Played out. I want to look at Ondo. I'm saying Ondo is popping off. Ondo. Is it? That's it. That's a good trade there. Solid trade, boy. I bought spot Ondo at a 50 cent. I bought spot Ondo here, I believe. I ended up selling it in August 2015 for 2x. Sorry, August 2025. Here. Sorry, yeah, I had the labels on already. That was my Ondo spot buy. And I think it was probably my only spot buy of 2024 that I got a 2x off. The remainder were either break even or did not fare quite as well. Ondo popping off. Is it? It looks very toppy. VVV went parabolic. Yeah, we had a very good read on VVV. Very good read. Now, the unfortunate reality of that read is that I didn't execute because we were waiting for slightly lower. You guys might remember we set these, or we set this long idea. The price was trading back around here. We kind of got this, and then just never got the retest we were looking for. To be honest, I won't lie, I wasn't looking at the chart super closely, so I don't feel too tilted about it. Like I wasn't like checking in every day looking for the setup. Otherwise, I might have been a little bit more tilted. But I don't get how they came about and why we use them, except that it works as resistance and support. Good question. Good question. I don't know either, to be honest. The grooming kit comment is seeing you grow a beard. Oh, interesting. Yeah. I've had a beard for a while, though. Had a beard for a long time. I actually started growing my beard out in early 2024. I haven't really been clean shaven for about 2 years. But if you look at a lot of my streams from 2023, I have a baby face. Like a real baby face. What's up, Cyclone? Cyclone first time in the chat. No way. Really? Cyclone first time in the chat. I'm shocked. Shocked. Welcome, brother. Yeah, maybe I can quickly look at distributive versus accumulative PA. Just made a meme about us watching the stream and absorbing knowledge. Spot CVD, I'll check that out in a second. Spot CVD is nuking. Perp is trying to hold on BTC M1. Spot CVD is nuking. It is. I don't see Perp's CVD trying to hold. I just see everything going down. Yeah, let me do a quick refresh on accumulative versus distributive PA. And we can clip this as well, and this can be the second clip. Because we already had maybe this can even be a short. We already had the BTC one, cumulative PA. Rewarded points for predictions, bruh. Still 10 minutes to go. Still 10 minutes to go, Wes. Wes Mantooth. The best Wes. Wes Mantooth. I thought it was 15, mate. 15. What do you take me for? What's the best way of doing this? Yeah, maybe like this. Gotta get the drawings right, you know? Live arts and crafts with your boy. Live arts and crafts with your boy. Okay. Do something like this. So accumulative PA is the easiest one, right? Accumulative PA is just, right, all markets move in impulses and corrections, right? Expansion, consolidation, trend, range, right? Those are the two basic phases of the market. So the idea with identifying accumulative PA versus distributive PA, you're just trying to estimate, right? Because this is all fucking guesswork at the end of the day. You are trying to deduce whether or not it's likely that the next impulse is going to be a continuation or a reversal. That's effectively it, right? People always talk about, distribution at the highs, blah, blah, blah. Oh no, we're accumulating for the next leg up, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of the time, they don't really have any method to what they're saying. They're just eyeballing it and maybe going off ball tingle or something like that, right? I think that you should be a little bit more technical in how you view accumulation and how you view distribution, and look for some telltale signs. So let's look at accumulative PAs, the first one. This is pretty easy. So again, you have price in a trend, and it comes to a spot where the momentum begins to slow, right? That's all I'm going to say. We have very strong impulsive moves up to the upside here, and you get to a point where the momentum begins to slow slightly, and you get this type of price action. Okay, I'll fix this in a second. Okay, it's almost like an ascending channel type of thing, right? And then you get something like this, and you get something like this, and you get something like this. Okay, this would be very, very standard for accumulative PA, right? You're getting lows that are being bought back up, right? You're getting a lot of buy interest as soon as price comes down to this support level, right? And likewise, the sell-offs aren't that major, right? You're getting sell-offs, but they're not even creating new lows, right? This is just the market telling you that it's gearing up for the next leg higher, right? Or potentially gearing up for the next leg higher, because of course this can all this can all reverse in a moment. But in a lot of instances, when you see this type of channel-bound, range-bound accumulation at the top of an impulsive move, it's a sign that the market is going to impulse higher once again. And a lot of the time, if you check like open interest, you'll see open interest is rising concurrently with this as traders get into position for the next move up, right? You'll see that these guys are basically accumulating for the next impulse. A lot of the time, this will happen at a logical resistance level. Like you will have a horizontal resistance level here, and guys will see this and they will go, "Oh, weakness at resistance. We're gonna reverse." But actually, no. This type of consolidation, this type of range-bound, channel-bound PA at resistance is almost always bullish for the reasons I just described. Same idea with something like this. And again, I will do my best to draw as we come up to something like this, and you get this type of price action. Boom, 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 boom. Right? Same idea, or roughly similar idea. Tidy this up a little bit. A little bit messy, but that's okay. Tidy this up. Okay. Same idea, right? You have price moving higher in a trend. You have impulses up, shallow corrections, small pullbacks, another impulse up, and then the momentum begins to slow, right? But is this a sign of weakness? Is this a sign that potentially the market is reversing? No, not usually. This is actually a sign that it's just getting ready for the next leg up. This is slightly different. You're seeing almost like equal highs, right? Or relatively equal highs, but a series of successively higher lows, right? And this is even more blatant than the previous example, because this is really showing you that the sellers have no control over price, right? You see that the sell-off here gets bought back up, right? Now, fair enough, we don't put in a new high, but the next sell-off is even weaker. Now, again, fair enough, we don't put in any higher high. Like the buyers haven't assumed as much control over the order book as they have when price is imbalanced and impulsing higher. But the sellers are extremely weak here, right? Each successive sell-off is getting weaker and weaker. The buyers are stepping in, showing interest, showing willingness to participate in the auction, until eventually it all comes to a head and price breaks out and starts impulsing higher again, right? Very, very typical. Again, if you see this type of PA at range high resistance, at channel high resistance, at any kind of high time frame resistance level, don't assume that this is weakness. Don't assume that this is a high probability reversal. In fact, it's quite often the opposite. So looking at what distributive PA is like, so I think distributive PA is kind of harder to quantify because it takes a lot of different forms, and there's a few different ways that you can. I think it's a little bit more of an eyeball game. It's a little bit more of a kind of a guessing game, a little bit less technical, but effectively you're looking for signs of weakness and signs of buyer exhaustion, right? And again, these are all uptrend examples, right? So either accumulating for the next impulse in the uptrend or distributing and potentially reversing the uptrend, right? So you're looking for signs of weakness, and a lot of the time that weakness will be shown by decreasing buyer interest and increasing selling interest, right? So what I mean by that, I'll do this in red. So you're getting price action. Again, you're getting this kind of impulsive price action uptrend, and then you get a range, right? And it's kind of the same idea as we had before. Maybe you get something like this, right? You get a little bit of almost like an attempted breakout, but then it gets slammed pretty quickly, and you get this, and then you get this, and then you get something like this, and then boom, it gets slammed again, and something like this, and all of a sudden price is kind of trading below the range, and really like the buyers are really fighting here, and then boom, gets slammed again. So I would say that this is pretty textbook, or this is a pretty good example of distributive PA, right? Where we're seeing the same idea, okay? We're seeing prices impulsing higher, right? We're seeing an uptrend, and the momentum starts to slow, okay? We get into this range-bound PA, but here we see some clear differences, okay? We see prices attempting to put in a higher high, and sure, we do put in a higher high here, but it immediately gets slammed. Price actually breaks structure here, and price subsequent to that puts in a new lower low, and actually trades below the range for a little bit. Now, sure, okay, the buyers step in there, like, okay, maybe there's more legs to this. They bring price maybe all the way back to like mid-range, right? But then it gets slammed again. We have another break in structure. And price puts in a new low. And at this point, we're actually firmly trading below the range, and it's almost looking like this kind of like range breakdown type price action, right? And finally, we see, buyers step in once again. It's kind of the last hurrah, really trying to see whether they can force the market's hand, push price higher. Instead, we just retest range low and put in a new lower low. So you see that the key element here is buyer weakness, right? Instead of in the previous examples where buyers were able to put in successive highs or at least equal highs, they were showing tons of interest each time price put in a new low. They were buying back those lows. They were engaging with the chart. Here we're seeing a little bit more lackadaisical interest from buyers. They're allowing these lower lows. Sellers are getting a little bit more interested, pushing price lower. We're getting price action below the range. Any kind of a retest of range low support, mid-range support is just getting sold into. And this is, to me, this is pretty exemplary of distribution, right? So if you see this type of price action at a logical at a logical resistance level, this is usually your indication that maybe the trend is beginning to reverse, and maybe we might be in for lower prices, or maybe even an end to the uptrend that brought us to this place. Does that make sense? I was yapping for a while there, but yeah, that's basic. Those are the key differences, in my opinion, between a cumulative PA and distributive PA. Hope that was helpful. People make fun of ascending triangles, but they kind of make sense. I think ascending triangles are, if this is what you're talking about, this is just, this is like a consolidation against resistance. Easiest distributed PA spot are the head and shoulder looking type. Well, yeah, that's pretty much here, right? You have your shoulder, you got your head, and you got your other shoulder. I mean, you can mess around with these a little bit, but yeah, that's basically it. Failure to put in a new higher high. Good point. Give you your points. I will. No worries, Bullet Felix. Clip that Bears win, yeah. We will give the Bears their points. Don't worry. Bears comfortably won that one. Would ZEC testify to that? I'll check in a second. Bears, Bears, Bears. Bears, Bears, Bears. Oh, Firecoin's at our level. Interesting. I'm not sure is that a long I want to take based on where BTC is trading, but yeah, we'll paper trade it. How about that? We'll paper trade it. I feel like a lot of this is another example of a cumulative PA. Oh, I'm sorry. Very clean chart, by the way. This Pengu chart. I really like it. I really want a long. If we get a retest of like 008, be interested to long. Buy also going to be approaching our levels. Wow, altcoins are fucking weak. No? Am I wrong? Let's look at Zcash. So the question, the consideration, Jesus Christ, this thing really went back to 650. Holy. I haven't looked at this in a while. That's crazy. Bruh. Thank you, Sis. Interesting chart. Man, I would have fucking bet my bottom dollar that this was not going to put in new highs after it pulled back here. I was like, yeah, this thing is done for the cycle. Fade me. Yeah, this is interesting. Okay. This is interesting. This is a pretty good example. This is head and shoulders, right? Pretty much. And I say that as someone who doesn't really trade head and shoulders. Looks like a link before it nuked minus 80% in a day. Yeah, this is fascinating. Very good spot. Very similar to what I was just talking about. You know, if you get, let's say you get a bounce here, retest this level. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. Retest this level, and then something like this. Something like this. Yeah, I think you're just looking for weakness basically, but looks a little bit distributive for sure. Interesting chart. Failure to put in a new high and actually putting in a new low instead. How do you trade altcoins in a trending market? That's a good question. I'm not the best person to ask about trending market conditions at all. I don't do that well when price is trending hard. I will say that for altcoins, it really is, you're just looking for obvious retest levels. It sounds like a very dumb thing to say, but like, let's say altcoins break out and you're getting this price action. You know? Like, it sounds simple, but you really are looking to just bid those retests. And actually, back in the last time I had like a crazy good run on alts was November. I want to say November 2024, when we had that mini alt season. Loads of alts were giving this. Where basically, you would just wait for this to start on your favorite alt, right? Then you would like zoom in. You like zoom in here and look for basically this. And then you would just long here. Like that. And you would look for those trades. Or even higher, man. If the market is trending hard, then you could just look for that. But that was pretty much it. You have, like, you can try 2 or 3 times with those types of longs. And if the market is truly in easy mode, then it will be relatively forgiving. Damn, we're getting the microscopic biology textbook view. Exactly. S-tier streaming. Did you not catch my fib stream last week? We even had a Victor. Pepe, I'm not interested in longing Pepe at all. Hype, yes. Pepe, no. Longing meme coins is like, you have to be, like, you have to wonder, like, what the narrative is. And Pepe had its moment, man. No doubt about it. But, what's the narrative now? Where to bid hype? Hype looks a little bit distributive as well. Where to bid hype? $20. Can we bid hype at $20? Is that too much to ask? A 40% drop from here? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not interested in buying hype here at all. My long-term spot buys for hype are below 20, which we might not get, of course. I don't know where my hype chart is. I had a hype chart somewhere around. These guys really need to make. Oh yeah, here we go. They really need to make charts searchable by drawing. Yeah. I don't know. Look, I don't really know if we'll ever get these. It might just be, like, people might be screenshotting this right now and they'll post it on Twitter when hype is at 100 and be like, this idiot. And that's fair enough. That's fair enough. But I don't want to buy hype here. I'll buy hype under 20. And if we don't get it, we don't get it. I don't care. You're shorting hype at 42. There you go. Where will Fibs be in the modules? Fibs will have their own module. Module 7. Which covers dealing range, premium, discount, OTE, golden pocket, Fib extensions, which are useful as targets in a bull market when coins are in price discovery. And yeah, I think that's it, right? We'll have to get Victor's naysaying. No worries, tapping out. Yeah. Alright, boys. I think we're going to call it there. Yeah, just over an hour. I'm going to run. I want to get some work done today. But yeah, I think that's basically everything from my end. Hope you enjoyed that one. Doing a lot of education on these streams these days because my brain is fully education mode at the moment for obvious reasons. But yeah, I hope you enjoy those. We'll see you back here on Friday. Friday is the next stream. Same time, same place. And that's kind of it. I don't know about the streaming schedule for next week, but probably the same. These 2 streams a week allow me to lock in a little bit more on Monday, which I prefer. So I don't know. It's not like I'm also just getting old. I'm an old man, and 3 streams a week is tough. How did I do when I think back on it? How did I used to do 3 streams a week, and each stream was like 10 hours? It really, I guess I just wasn't doing any work in Chroma. Because how the fuck did I manage that? How the fuck? My time was obviously cheaper back then. No worries, Beer Light. No worries, Akinaro. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sep. Yeah, insert a Vic photo in the module, exactly. Thanks, Finlandjet. Thanks, Veslin. Thanks, Haj. Thanks, DK. Thanks, Serlo. Thanks, Aj. Bonjour, mec. I had less responsibility, I probably did. Alright, boys. Yeah, thanks, Ryoku. Thanks, X chat. Thanks, YouTube chat. Thanks, Twitch chat. We're gonna call it there. I will see you boys back here on Friday. Same time, same place. Thanks, Sis. Talk to you soon, boy. Until then, stay safe. Try not to get liquidated, and I'll see you next time. Peace out, Girl Scouts. Love you. Bye-bye.